So welcome and good afternoon everyone to the CCLS Nigeria chapter welcome event. My name is Celia Blakeway-Phillips and I'm the External Relations and Development Manager leading on the CCLS alumni activities. And my colleague Jane Cloak is here today, who is helping with the monitoring of your chat. So this is the third of a series of online welcome events we are holding for the new global chapters. And we're hoping for a bumper number of you today. So we're expecting about 61 people, of which there'll be around 10 students, which is fantastic. So it's going to be quite an informal event, which will be an hour, and you'll be able to stay on for longer if you wish to chat and network further, because some of the committee will be available. So please feel free to write any questions you might have, and these can be answered in the chat. But also it'd be really great if you could perhaps write your name and the course and year that you studied at CCLS, just so that others can see, and recollect perhaps any peers that they might have studied with. So today you can hear from the director of CCLS, Professor Ian Walden, who also is the academic attached to your chapter. And after Ian, you'll hear from Adebisi Sander, who's the chapter lead. And then there'll be an opportunity for you to speak as well. So do, add your questions to the chat. And as I say, it's quite an informal event. So it would be really lovely if you do have your cameras on, if possible, please. So now I'll hand you over to Professor Ian Walden. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Celia, and a very, very warm welcome to all of you for joining us today. I hope you're all well. Obviously, in the current circumstances here in the UK, we're currently back on lockdown, but it will be interesting to hear perhaps later what the current circumstances are in Nigeria. As Celia said, this is the establishment of a new alumni chapter for Nigeria, and I'm very pleased and proud to be the academic lead from CCLS for this chapter. And I volunteered for this because I've been to Nigeria a number of times. I've been to both Lagos and to Abuja. I've provided training in the telecommunications field to MTC. I've delivered a lecture at the University of Lagos, and most recently I've been advising on the cybercrime and cybersecurity bill as was. So I've very much enjoyed my visits to Nigeria, and hopefully fingers crossed, my future visits to Nigeria, at which we can actually meet in person and have a chapter meeting on something other than Zoom. So I look forward to that opportunity next year. As you can imagine, CCLS, as presumably your own lives have undergone huge change since the emergence of the COVID pandemic. We had to go online last March in fairly quick order. And as I said, we're now back in lockdown again. But on this occasion, the university or universities and all education facilities have been given a special dispensation to continue to provide educational input. So we are continuing to have small group teaching at CCLS. Unfortunately, due to social distancing and related rules, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to have large classes or lectures. So we are doing the best that we can in what are increasingly trying circumstances, but obviously some very good news recently about the emergence of some vaccines, and so we really do hope that we can get back to normal in short order in 2021. what's been a particular shame about this year is because the Centre for Commercial Law Studies has been celebrating 2020, because 2020 is the 40th anniversary since the centre was established by Roy Good, now Professor Sir Roy Good, the doyen of commercial law. In June 1980, he convinced Queen Mary that commercial law needed to have a specific dedicated focus, not just in terms of academic research, but also in terms of the need to provide postgraduate LLM learning in the commercial law field. Because historically, academia and legal practice often seemed enemies rather than friends. Academics often found or thought that the commercial world was somehow dirty, all that filthy money that commercial lawyers made, while commercial lawyers thought academics were terribly ivory tower and out of touch. And Roy's vision was, well, Roy's recognition was that was ridiculous, and his vision for the centre was to bring academia and practitioners together and to engage in the most, the best teaching we could provide, to provide an opportunity for people from around the world, including Nigeria, to come together in London and study advanced commercial law issues. Not only that, the academics, we're devoted to researching such that our research interests inform our teaching, research-led teaching. So that was the vision for Roy Good when he established the Centre 40 years ago. So some of our plans to celebrate through a dinner, which some of you may have signed up to, or other events, was clearly stymied by the COVID pandemic. But we have been able to offer a whole range of webinars. Every institute, whether it be the School of International Arbitration or the Tax Institute or the Intellectual Property Institute, have run free webinars, and I hope some of you have been able to attend those. And we will continue to be offering such opportunities over the coming years. So we are still very proud to have got to 40 years, despite not being able to celebrate in quite the noise that we would have liked to. But CCLS continues to expand. I mean, some of you are alumni from a number of years ago. Some of you are current students, I know. But CCLS continues to be at the cutting edge in terms of academic commercial law. We're expanding our activities into offering more and more of our students employment opportunities through activities such as Q Legal, which is our pro bono legal advice clinic, which now offers some 200 places for students to either provide legal advice on to real clients or get internships. Only a few weeks ago, we've just signed an agreement with Airbnb. I think some of you may have heard of them. Two of our students are now doing internships with Airbnb based in California. They're not in California because of lockdown, but they're virtually working in California, which is not quite so, great, but Airbnb is clearly a great partner to be working with. So we are targeting the possibility of offering every single student on our LLM some employability opportunity, whether it be mentoring, internships, externships, advisory, presentation skills, just to supplement their academic studies with employability options. The centre also continues to influence policy, both at a national, a regional and an international level. As many of you will remember, I mean, we don't really teach English law so much as we teach UK law as an example of global treaties or EU law or whatever the comparison jurisdictions are. I think that will stand us in very good stead as we, in my view, very disappointingly depart the European Union legal regime at the end of this year, because we've never been focused on the UK and we've never been solely focused on Europe. We've always been focused on an international and comparative perspective. But academics such as Julia Hornler has been researching and impacting on the treatment of online gambling across Europe, advising regulators about the most effective techniques to control the use of online gambling. Duncan Matthews has been working with the United Nations to try and facilitate developing countries getting access to medicines, which is so very pertinent in our current environment, where with the emergence of vaccines, the question that comes up about the fair and equitable distribution to those vaccines. And finally, we are, well, not finally, but just as another example of what we've been doing, Rosa Lastra, who heads the Banking and Finance Institute, has been involved in one of our key aims, which is to see how we can make sure that commercial law can be an effective tool for development. So it's not just about being at the cutting edge of commercial law developments, it's also looking at it from the reverse process. How can we use that knowledge to help developing countries in their economic development? And the centre is part of something called the Sovereign Debt Forum, which is a pro bono advice centre for developing countries. And recently we held an event at which countries such as Benin and Guinea and Liberia and Sudan, Togo, Uganda came along to find about how to negotiate with the Western banks in order to try and manage their sovereign debt. So this chapter represents part of an initiative that we've been undertaking for the past nearly two and a half years, where we recognize we hadn't maintained good enough contacts and relationships with our alumni, because we have thousands of alumni spread across the world, and alumni are so very important to the CCLS family. And what we want to do by starting this Nigerian chapter is to really promote a lifelong association between yourselves and CCLS, so that we can offer you future learning opportunities, so that we can offer you professional and social networking opportunities, and last but not least, the opportunity for you to give back. I've already mentioned mentoring. Our current students find mentoring an incredibly valuable experience. Speaking to somebody who has been and done the LLM, has gone back and is now practicing as a judge, as a lawyer, as a commercial, whatever career you've chosen, by pairing up a current student with an alumni in a mentoring relationship, it's really a very mutually beneficial opportunity. For the student, they can learn from your experience and your wisdom. From your perspective, you have the chance to really help shape the future direction of our students. So one of the purposes of the alumni chapter is to provide a framework around which you can offer back to the future generations of people that are studying and will be studying at the Centre for Commercial Law. And that's probably never more pertinent and appropriate than now, when job opportunities are more scarce as we enter an inevitable recession or following the COVID pandemic. So we would very much welcome if you would like to contribute either time or money to offer scholarships or bursaries or opportunities for the next generation to come to the Centre for Commercial Law Studies, experience hopefully what was an enjoyable experience from your perspective, and the chapter is really the vehicle through which we would like to re-engage and really energize a lifelong relationship between ourselves and yourselves. But with that, I hand back to Cecilia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian. And so next you're going to hear from the chapter lead, Adebisi Sander. And Adebisi came to London, I think it was just over a year ago. And we had a meeting and he was saying how keen he was to set up a chapter. And so here we are today. So I'd like to hand you over to Adebisi. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Celia. So it was earlier this year, we met in CCLS, and thanks for having me, over for that meeting. As Ian has said, the alumni chapter in Nigeria, is set up for a number of reasons. I mean, CCLS, Queen Mary, was a very good, step and career booster for me personally. And I felt, as a lawyer, much of what we do, not just as a lawyer, but as human beings generally, we need to connect and we need to, connect and leverage on our shared experiences at Queen Mary. And that was what informed my decision, for having that meeting with you, Celia. And I feel as my own idea for a Nigerian chapter, for CCLS is to have a body where we can, as Ian said, benefit from mentorship and also give, mentorship to people who are still students or, recent graduates of the CCLS. We also, think that we can foster collaboration amongst, alumni in private sector, in public sector, or in academia. Wherever we are, we think we can always foster collaboration amongst us, and then we can also, try and foster some bridge between Nigerians locally and, Nigerians in diaspora. We also think that we can share opportunities, whether it's job opportunities, whether it's learning opportunities, whether it's academic opportunities, professional opportunities, amongst ourselves. So amongst other things, we also think that, as a student, coming out freshly from Queen Mary or, joining Queen Mary as a new student, we feel it's going to be of value if we can have a system whereby people who have gone through the system before can guide, fresh students. So we hope to be able to organize an informal event with, students when they are transitioning from that student phase in Queen Mary to, post Queen Mary, or when they are just joining. I would also like to thank, other chapter, committee members who are present and who are not present, who are absent. I think Fola Jimmy sent in his apologies. He might be joining us much later. And to this end, I would like to thank especially Tolu Lokpe, who was who are in the same class in Queen Mary, and she's someone I look up to for many things, because she's generally a great person and someone with a lot of industry contacts in corporate commercial law, and a prominent figure in the fintech space. I'd also like to thank Chioma Olibe, who is a senior associate in ALEX, for her time and contribution to the chapter so far. My brother, Fola Ajayi, we're also in Queen Mary's together. I would like to give him a special, thanks. And lastly, Fola Jimmy Akinla, who, has to be in a meeting in 5 minutes, but I think it's just good to thank him. And for everybody that has joined the meeting so far, I would also like to thank you. And I would also like to thank you, for joining. And I would like us to share our experiences. I would like us to share our expectation of a, CCLS chapter in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Celia. I think we can, move on to the next item on the agenda.
Thank you, Adebisi. So now really it's just down to the informal part. So if anyone has any questions, do remember to put them in the chat. But to sort of start off really, I was wondering if anybody would like to share a particular memory of their time at CCLS. Who would like to go first?
And we'd just like to hear who you are, what you did, and what you're doing now. So we've just got something from Hua, who did Energy and Natural Resources Law in 2015. So tell us what you're doing now, Hua.
Hello, hi, it's Hawa.
Sorry.
So basically,
what are you doing now?
I work in-house as an in-house counsel at an oil and gas services firm. I'm legal counsel and company secretary.
Excellent.
So
you're still at work?
Yes. Yes, I am. Well, as regards to my experience at Queen Mary, it was very interesting. It helped with self-growth a lot, and I learned a lot concerning the industry I'm currently working in. So I'm applying the knowledge I acquired. But for me, the best part of my LLM was the mentorship program that was introduced in my set, which gave me the opportunity to work at Dentons, in fact, it's the largest law firm in the UK. Yep. Yes, so I had a placement there, and it exposed me to working at a law firm in the UK. So all in all, it was a fantastic experience. I'm still in touch with the partner I worked under there. So that mentorship link still exists. And
Was
I think
that
it's something. Dallas? Yes. So I think it's something that should be continued and enhanced, even post your time at the university, because there's nothing like your network, really.
Absolutely, and one of the things we would be very grateful if students returning to Nigeria were able to have an opportunity to be mentored by yourselves, because starting your career is well, you've done very well, but it is difficult for people to start their career, and insights, etc., can be incredibly valuable. So welcome. What was the best memory you have from your year in London?
Well, the best memory, it was as regards to the placement, actually, and maybe my first time exploring, people I met, the classes themselves, good food.
Good food. Well, the English aren't famous for their good food, it has to be said.
No, well, things I like. Coffee, Starbucks. I miss Starbucks. So yeah. It was all in all a fantastic experience that I do not regret.
Good. Excellent. Anybody else, please just introduce yourselves, tell us when you were at the centre, and give some feedback. Abiola.
Hi everyone, hello.
Hello.
I work in Lagos, Nigeria, and I work with Novartis. I'm the legal counsel for English West Africa and East African regions. And when I did my LLM in 2013, 2014. Right. And that was where I met Adebisi and other great people. That year was fun because I came from outside London. I went to Hull for my first degree. So that year was fun, and I totally missed London. Like, I was like, why didn't I school in London? Because then I got to connect with many people, especially people from, I think in my year, we had quite a number of international people. I didn't even meet any British person. So we met, so I connected with a lot of people. I still keep in touch with them, and
Good.
they've helped me in my career.
People
And,
from around the world, or people from London?
People from around the world, not just London.
Excellent.
And here, I still keep in touch with a lot of people here too in Nigeria. And yeah, and they've been helpful, especially in terms of advice, support, career development, and things like that. I'm very close to Adebisi, so we talk a lot about this. So when he told me about this chapter coming up, I was really excited, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to be involved.
Good, good. And your favorite experience in London? One favorite experience?
I mean, I had a lot.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I actually had a lot.
That's good. All right. Thank you. Edward Osamor. You're on mute, unfortunately.
Okay, hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Edward Osamor. I studied at Queen Mary. I was at Banking and Finance Law between 1998 and 1999.
Hey, you're an old one.
Yes, I actually
not as old as me, but
I actually studied my first degree at Queen Mary's, which was economics, BSc in economics. That was between 1992 and 1995. I then went on to do the two-year LLB at Queen Mary between 1995 and 1997. And after I was called to the bar, I decided to come back again and do the LLM at Queen Mary. So I spent quite a number of years at Queen Mary, and it was all enjoyable. The banking and finance law course was very reputable at the time. I enjoyed it.
Still very reputable.
Yes, it is.
Even more.
Yes, and one of my courses I took was actually international commercial arbitration, and that is what I'm concentrating on at the moment. And Queen Mary has a formidable reputation in arbitration, so it's a sort of great move doing that. I think that was perhaps one of my more. I enjoy the course. I grew up in London, so I have so many great memories of London. But the commercial arbitration course has really put me in good stead now. It's I meet so many arbitrators who have actually studied the commercial arbitration course at Queen Mary, and they're all doing very well.
Yeah, no, I think the School of International Arbitration, because when the centre was established 40 years ago, arbitration was pretty much one of the first topics that gave rise, was established within the centre. So it's got a very long history. And Julian Liu, who you probably met, or
yes, he was one of our lecturers.
He's still teaching for us. He's actually just retiring, not from us. He's retiring from Chambers, but he is still teaching. And it's good to see that. So I started in Queen Mary in 1992. So we've both been connected with Queen Mary for 28 years.
Yes,
you've shown more imagination by doing something else. I'm still here, but really good to make contact. So who else? I'm going to Ike Lloyd. I'm sorry, I'm picking on people I can see.
Hi.
Hello,
everyone. My name is Ike Lloyd Ekweremadu.
Terrible introduction by me. Sorry.
No, it's okay. People call me Ike as well. It's fine. I was at Queen Mary at CCLS between 2017 and 2018, LLM in Energy and Natural Resources Law. At the moment, I'm back working in Nigeria at a law firm in Abuja, where I was practicing before I came for my master's. Mm-hmm. Currently, most of my practice is core litigation, mostly financial crimes, which is different from...
You'll always have work.
Yeah, you can imagine, of course. So, but it is different from, of course, my specialization in energy and natural resources law, but generally the sort of exposure work of going to Queen Mary has put me in good stead generally in professionally as well, because of course I meet a bunch of people every now and again who are in the energy space, particularly with regards to the power sector, and you know, my knowledge gained over time at the center usually comes in handy when you have to have conversations with regards to energy and sort of the current developments in Nigeria, in the power sector, and of course in the oil and gas sector with regards to new legislations and things like that. So I'm quite happy to be here and to see many other people, most of whom were there much earlier than myself.
It's all right. What's your favorite memory of London?
What is my favorite memory of London? I think for me,
not if it's too embarrassing, but you don't have to tell us the embarrassing thing.
No. I mean, it's quite boring generally. It might be boring, but I stayed in North London, in Northwest London. So I usually enjoyed, I kind of weirdly enough looked forward to my commute to Holborn every day for lectures or seminars and things of the sort, because you know it's quite different from being in Nigeria. You don't get to do the underground and things of that nature. So I quite enjoyed that in terms of being in London generally. Yeah.
But the weather must have got you down sometimes.
Oh yeah, I mean, not too bad. I did my undergrad at Lancaster, so it's
it's warmer than that
up there. Yeah, so London was like summer, really.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Really pleased to see you. I'm now going to pick on Princess Otti because I just love the name.
Thank you so much, Ayan. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Hiya.
Yeah.
We can see you.
Hi. Okay, great. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Am I clear?
Yeah.
Yeah? Perfect. So my name is Princess Otti. I was in the same year as Hawa and the same course as well. I did the Energy and Natural Resources Law course. Hi, Hawa. So it's interesting because I did Energy and Natural Resources, but I went back to Nigeria, and soon after I began to practice in the finance and tech space. So I currently co-own a fintech company.
Wow.
Yeah. I know it's crazy. It was a very, very crazy job, but it happened.
Can I have some money?
And that's why I am right now.
Oh, we lost you. We've lost you.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. It broke up a little. Hi, Anne. Sorry, I think it kind of broke up a little bit.
Princess, maybe turn your video off while you speak. That might be better.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Is that better now?
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So I didn't catch what Ian commented on. He said something, I didn't quite catch it. Uh-oh.
Sorry, Princess, I think we've lost you again.
Okay, I think I'll just kind of jump back in but I think I can hear you now. It sounds quite clear.
Okay, we didn't quite hear. Perhaps start the last sentence again.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Okay, so I didn't quite catch Ian's last comment about what I said. So I think he said something, but I didn't catch it.
Sorry, I feel I've just missed everything because I got kicked out. I don't know why.
I think after Ian said, "Wow, we lost you."
Okay, sorry. But I can hear you now, so I think we can continue.
Okay, carry on.
Ian, you were saying something. I didn't catch what you said.
I was just so a fintech company. I mean, is this I mean, fintechs are really, I mean, we now run a whole LLM course on financial technology because it's such a big area.
Amazing. Okay.
So how's owning a company? That sounds very serious.
Yeah, so it's not easy because obviously Nigeria is an emerging market, so it's difficult trying to tread this atmosphere. But so far so good. I've been doing it for 2 years now. We've sent a few banks. So what we do actually is we do two things. It's twofold. The first thing is that we try and make cross-border payments easier. So we're trying to make payments from Africa easier to the UK, US, Canada, and parts of Europe. And we also try to allow those immigrants in diaspora access cross-border financing. So imagine somebody that lives in the US or the UK is able to access or maybe buy a car gift for his mom or dad in Nigeria, financed by a bank in Nigeria. So yeah. It's a novel idea. It's novel, it's new, and it's what we're doing. So pretty much creating access. So it means I have to pretty much sign up banks in Nigeria and parts of Africa, and that's the very difficult part, having to sign up banks and using our providers of financing. So yeah, so far so good. Difficult, but yes, the question.
What's your best memory of London?
There's a lot of memories. I'm trying to think of it.
The ones you can tell.
I would say the best memory of Queen Mary would be I worked alongside Max Shrey, in the induction committee. I helped induct new students the year after I was at Queen Mary. So I believe that connection was very valuable because even now she still helps me out in terms of advice and references. So I think that was a very, very valuable connection. So yeah, that would be a good memory of Queen Mary. London, however, there's too many memories. So I can't single out one, but yes.
Too many good memories. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, and really, really good to be contact with you again.
Thank you.
Kioma, I know you're on the committee, but you've now got to introduce yourself anyway. Oh. Anybody else? Please, volunteers, so I don't have to pick on people. Kioma.
Hi,
hello.
Everyone.
Hi.
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me.
We can.
Yeah. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Choma. I was in the LLM Law and Economics program with BC during the 2013-2014 class. It was an amazing program. I got the opportunity to intern at the UN during my program, which was fantastic for me. Yeah.
Wow. Where in Geneva or New York?
Yeah, in Geneva. I worked on the Principles of Responsible Sovereign Lending and Borrowing program with the UN.
Wow. So you would be interested in finding out more about the Sovereign Debt Forum, I think.
Oh yeah. I was interested when I heard that from you. It's something I intend to look up after this.
Yeah, please do, because Rosa would love to hear from you because of the work you did with the UN. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
So what do you do?
Now I'm back in Nigeria. I work with a law firm called Elex. We have offices in Nigeria and Ghana. I'm a finance corporate lawyer at Elex, mostly focused on mergers and acquisitions. So that is what I do now.
Brilliant. And favorite memory?
Well, that's a big ask because coming to Queen Mary was also my first time of being in London. So I enjoyed every bit of it, like every single day. I think it was also, I think like someone mentioned here, for me it was also the small things like being able to ride on tube during the commute to Holborn for classes or for anything, the Boxing Day sales, shopping, the whole 9 years. So I think every part of it was interesting for me.
Good. Okay, so I'm going to do one last pick, unless somebody would like to volunteer. Samson, you look like you're on your phone, but you're with us, and we're pleased to see you with us. So say hello to us all.
Hi, everyone.
You're in the office still.
Yes, I am. So my name is Samson Igege. I was in the energy. I did the energy and natural resources LLM in 2017, 2018. Ike Mikechukwu Ekweremadu, who spoke earlier, was my classmate. Fortunately, I was one of the two to be awarded the Norton Rose Fulbright Scholarship.
Oh,
So before coming to Queen Mary, I was actually with a litigation law firm in Abuja. That is Didi Dodo and Co, where we are into core dispute resolution and litigation. Of course, we do a bit of transactions as well. I don't have the most memorable time in London because I think I had a lot of experiences that were quite memorable. Let me just highlight two. Because of my internship, I had the opportunity to have a work placement experience with Norton Rose Fulbright LLP in the London office for 2 weeks. It was quite memorable. I mean, within this short period of time, I had the opportunity to do quite a lot of work on international arbitration. And I mean, I was privileged to appear for the first time, or rather to attend the proceedings of the ICC. It was a huge arbitration. And I mean, within 2 weeks. And then one other memory was my experience with my mentor. So I participated in the Queen Mary mentoring program.
Brilliant.
And I was quite fortunate. My mentor was Jim Cohen, who as at then was the Associate General Global Counsel of Shell. And he was in charge of Europe, Pacific, Asia, and fortunately, Africa. And the African office was in Nigeria. So we had a good time. In fact, he told me I was the most fortunate mentee he has had because yes, because during my time, he was always in London. So each time I called on him, he was available. He was there, to listen to me. We had a lot of meetings, coffees, and dinners, so it was really good. Well, now I'm back to Nigeria. I am back in my firm. And like I said, we are into dispute resolution, but my LLM knowledge and experience has come to bear because I'm currently advising a very big client on the ongoing marginal fields bid rounds in Nigeria. So that is like very direct to what I learned in Queen Mary. And finally, I made a lot of friends, and most of them are from South America. I still keep in touch. And I mean, those are connections and friendships that I'm sure I will never forget or lose. So thank you very much. I'm happy to connect with the alumni in Nigeria. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now I can see there's still a lot of people that don't have their cameras on. Could everybody turn their cameras on just so Celia can take a picture of this wall of you all just participating in this meeting? It would be lovely. Miriam, I'll say thank you. We're doing well. We just need a few more and we've got enough for a picture. You've got to smile as well, by the way. Very big smiles. Celia, are you ready? Yeah, or Jane, whoever's doing it. We've just got a couple more. Yes, I'll say. Miriam, Ibrahim. Yes, good. Just three more people, and then we're good. Okay. Yes, thank you. I think we're good there. I think we'll go with that picture. Best we can do. Anyone else? Last minute. Okay.
Hi, Ian.
Thank you.
Hello.
Sorry. Hello. Who's that?
Yeah, this is Timmy.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm doing good. And you?
You're in the car, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm actually driving.
Yeah, you're not the only one that's driving. There was somebody else. I can't remember. Oh, yes.
Yeah. How are you doing?
So are you?
Yeah, so
what are you up to?
Yeah, I can hear you. So currently I work. I was in Queen Mary 2012, 2013. I was a recipient of the Queen Mary University of Lagos Scholarship, CCLS University of Lagos Scholarship. I did on telecommunications, computer and communications law.
Which was a great choice, wasn't it? It was a really good, the best choice you ever made.
Exactly, because based on that, I currently work with the telecoms regulator in Nigeria, the Nigerian Communications Commission.
Oh wow!
And during my period at Queen Mary, I was also fortunate to intern with the regulator of paid phone paid services. That's Phone Paid Plus. Then I think it's called Phone Paid Authority now.
Oh, Phone Paid Services Authority.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm on the tribunal, so I chair the tribunal.
Yeah, I think there was a lecturer that was on the tribunal whilst I was there. He taught us media law.
Yeah, Robin Callender Smith.
Robin Callender Smith, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. I'm now on the tribunal, and I've got my yes. It's yes.
Oh, that's cool. So currently, I'm enrolled for my PhD studies at Bond University in Australia. But of course, because of the whole COVID situation, I'm just waiting for Australia's borders to be open so I can resume on campus there.
Brilliant, lovely to hear from you. So back to our chair. Where's our chair gone? Is he still there?
Hi, Ian.
Ah, hey, hi. So back to you. Sorry, I'm going to stop embarrassing people now.
Okay, so we need to quickly go over a few more items. Specifically, what do you think about the setup of the chapter, and what sort of activities might you be interested in for the chapter? I don't know if anyone has any suggestions or comments to make. Okay, I guess
say something. Hi.
Hi, please go ahead.
So, well, your question is, what do we think about the chapter? I think this is a welcome development because, I mean, apart from the opportunity to attend classes, I mean, make new friends, international friends, and learn a lot, it's also good that we have this forum to know ourselves. So we need to build a network, because I noticed that for a lot of schools, Dundee, Harvard, and different schools, I mean, the alumni associations are quite strong in Nigeria. So I would say that this is a welcome development. And regarding activities, I mean, with the COVID-19 situation, I really can't suggest so much, but what I would say is, let's think about, organizing activities in the future that brings us together, and let's try to stay in touch, because, I mean, we are lawyers, we are all lawyers, so it's networking, it's a very important thing for our profession and for our progress. So thank you so much for this opportunity, for this forum. It's a good thing. Let's keep it going. Let's think about how to grow this forum in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Samson. Thanks for the suggestion, Samson. I know after, I mean, people, we're always open to, to any suggestions as to how the chapter is set up, or what we can do differently. What do you want to see, as in the next month, in the next 2 months, in the next year, for CCLS chapter Nigeria? Any other suggestions? Thanks a lot, Samson. We got, I think someone is trying to speak.
Hello, hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nosas as well. Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I think a quick, low-hanging fruits really would be just to have a cocktail or drinks or something, which would, at the different locations where people are.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Hello?
Yeah, still there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I think that was the initial plan for 2020 to have had a physical meeting. But I mean, if we have enough people who show interest, we may probably organize something during the holidays. Of course, going strictly by COVID guidelines and taking all necessary precautions. So no, sir, I think I would try and contact you after this event and know exactly what you're thinking about. But we may do something in December. We may just do if enough people signify an interest in that.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adeni Alade. I was in the LLM set for 2008, Comparative and International Dispute Resolution. This is a very welcome development, good plan, well done at DBC. What I would like to see for the future is, apart from the networks and connections, I'm currently in academia and was really because of one particular lecturer in CCLS, Lucas Mistelis, who during one lecture where I was the only student that showed up, we had a chat, and through that chat, he really encouraged me to go into academia, and that what inspired me to go to do my PhD, and now I'm teaching in Queen's in Belfast. So, and if not for that chat, I probably would have taken a totally different path. So I'd love to see for those who are interested in furthering their studies in academia, to be able to have that opportunity to have that chat with them, because really, there's so many pitfalls. There's so many things I wish I knew at the start of my PhD. Made it so much easier. For example, not doing the PhD, yeah, and maybe not going to academia right now, but but really just having those conversations that will really make the path easier and smoother. I'm also putting myself forward to assist in that.
Brilliant. I mean, that's exactly the sort of example of how mentoring can really help. Lucas mentored, by provided advice, helped you, and it would be great if you could speak to future graduates about why entering academia is the worst decision you ever made in your whole life. Certainly that's what my mother always told me, that it's a terrible decision.
Yeah, my account tells me that every month.
Good. I think we have to, Celia, myself and Jane have to leave you now, because what we'd like is just to allow that. I mean, the conversation, as Celia said, can continue, but we'd like to leave you. But I just wanted to say thank you once again for everybody that's turned up. I hand over to Celia, where you'll get an opportunity to do a quick poll, but I look forward to future events. But please carry on and chatting, re-establishing relationships, and thank you so much for turning up. It's been great to see you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Anne. Thanks, Celia.
Thank you. And it'd be really great if you could just do that poll. That'd be really lovely. So I'll just leave it there for a couple more minutes. And I'd just like to take the opportunity as well to thank Adebisi and all the committee it's been a really great start. They've been really fabulous so far, and I think the Nigeria chapter is going to go from strength to strength. So thank you very much for your participation today as well, to all of you. So thanks very much. So